Dear Pixie, you asked us, cannot a soul be a service to self-soul and also not be controlled by the Illuminati's service to self agenda? In a linear sense, this is not possible when referring to a fully polarized service to self individual. Regarding the third density planet, all fully polarized service to self individuals will be serving the same agenda. Just as the fully polarized service to others individuals create a telepathic light network of which they are all part, so too do fully polarized service to self individuals become part of a network, although it may be more correct to explain this network as a hive mind rather than a telepathic grid of light. The service to others network is fueled by open heart, green ray, love light geometric fields, and the energetic that feeds into the network of light is source aligned. The service to self hive mind is fueled by red, orange and yellow ray, over-activated solar plexus power center connected to third eye light geometry. The energetic that feeds into this hive mind is pyramidical, therefore source distorted, and the service to self polarized Luciferian grid. Any individual, when fully polarized, would connect either to the network of light or the Luciferian hive mind. However, there are many individuals who are unpolarized and are working towards polarization. It is extremely difficult to fully polarize within the service to self frequency. So whilst you may have many serving the service to self structure, most of these individuals are unpolarized and, should we say, attempting to polarize. Therefore, one could say that there may be an individual who is attempting to polarize within the service to self agenda that may not be controlled by any third dimensional structure or group such as Illuminati you refer to, but simply by the nature of attempting to polarize as service to self, or by following the negative agenda. That individual would be unwittingly and unbeknownst to himself/herself serving the service to self agenda. You asked us, could it not be that President Donald Trump is a rogue service to self soul, a freedom seeker operating in contrast to the highest expression of light? We do not usually comment on specific individuals upon your planet. Therefore, we provide a generalized response to your question. A rogue service to self soul would still be a soul serving the service to self agenda. They may feel they are rogue and independent of influence, yet this would not be the case. One is either polarized service to self, service to others, neutral, or is unpolarized. There are many service to others individuals who are simultaneously able to take the stance of neutrality, yet we veer away from your question. Regarding a rogue service to self-soul, there would not be a rogue fully polarized service to self-soul. An individual who is unpolarized may consider themselves rogue, yet the more they polarize towards service to self, the less rogue they would be, if you will, for this energetic is a hive mind. A freedom seeker, as you word it, would be polarizing towards service to others, not service to self. Service to self is a lack of freedom. Therefore, any individual seeking freedom is operating from a service to others structure. Therefore, a freedom seeker would not be operating in contrast to the highest expression of light, but would be for the highest expression of light. This we respond to your aligned term of freedom as it is perceived en masse. There may be individuals who perceive freedom in a distorted sense, and they would indeed be service to self. That which they term freedom in the distorted sense would be totalitarian and in complete opposition to freedom. The highest aspect of the service to self structure do indeed see totalitarianism as freedom. But this would translate to freedom in order to continue to polarize, or freedom from karma, but not freedom in the true sense of the word freedom, as in liberty. When we respond to the word freedom, we include sovereignty, free will, and choice within that frequency, and this is a service to others energetic. We choose our words carefully now, and it is for you to decode here what we say. For we cannot step over your free will boundaries. Yet you have asked the question, therefore we have some extra space, if you will, within which to speak. It may be that there are individuals who do indeed see themselves as independent from any group or structure. It may be that they serve self in the sense that self is all important. This can be done within a service to self or a service to others structure. If an individual focuses on self as all important, this is only partially serving a service to self agenda. Service to self can be translated to service to the family or service to the hive mind in order to fully serve self. It is only by serving the family or the hive mind that the service to self polarization can fully occur. If an individual focuses on self as all important to the exclusion of the needs of others, then they can be molded, shall we say, to fit the service to self agenda and serve family or hive mind. If a service to self individual serves self as all important and only self, rejecting the family or the hive mind, then they can never polarize as service to self and can only ever be partially in service to the service to self agenda. They would remain unpolarized. If an individual focuses on self as all important, yet sees the inclusion of the needs of others as part of serving self. For example, an individual who sees their country and all fellow countrymen as extended aspects of themselves, then this individual would indeed be working within a service to others vibration. This type of individual may find it much more difficult to fully polarize within a service to others energy. But with assistance from the network of light, then full polarization can indeed occur, even whilst the individual serves self as all important, if that self includes country and countrymen. These individuals may eventually be able to expand the understanding of self to include planetary and extraplanetary energetics if enough support and life force is projected to them via the network of light. This kind of individual would undoubtedly escape the service to self radar, as this individual would appear to be serving self as all important, and therefore would be seen as potentially able to serve the service to self agenda. It is far easier to polarize as a service to others being than it is to polarize as service to self. You asked us, cannot souls be drawn to President Donald Trump's Uranian rogue nature merely because they have been heretofore enslaved and are now waking up? It would be correct to say that if an individual perceived another individual to have a Uranian rogue nature, and that individual with this rogue nature presented as being in a position of power or a leader in some capacity, then this may well act as a trigger for that individual to wake up, as you say, through realization of having experienced an enslaved reality. You asked us, do they then continue to align with this rogue energy because it fuels their thirst for freedom, but not necessarily their desire to love and serve others? If a group of individuals perceived a leader or a person in a key position of potential power to have a rogue energy, and they themselves wished for freedom, perceiving the freedom to be achieved via the revolutionary path, then they may well align with the individual with the perceived rogue energy. However, freedom itself is driven by a complete rejection of enslavement, and this comes from an innate desire to love and serve others, even though that innate desire may not be consciously felt or expressed. You asked us, does being rogue, and in contrast to the prevailing controlling forces, in and of itself make someone truthful? Indeed, this would not be the case. You would be speaking here of a revolutionary leader, and this energy in and of itself would not be in contrast to the prevailing controlling forces. If an individual is inspiring uprising and revolution, and simultaneously misleading others by not being truthful, they would indeed be serving a service to self agenda, and therefore cannot be truly rogue. A true service to others uprising or revolution would be based on serving the greater good, the greater whole, the fellow man, the brothers, the sisters, the children, the country, the countrymen, the planet, and beyond. The revolution would be moving against enslavement, but would work within understanding, forgiveness, and love, and all the processing that would go with these frequencies. You asked us, cannot a catalyst like President Donald Trump, or a catalytic event such as his election, be in and of itself the gift, in this case setting off a deep search for truth in each soul? Indeed, this is absolutely the case. This would be but one gift, however, and not the gift. This catalytic gift presentation is given to each and every individual as they awaken, and they may present within a variety of guises. If you are ready for the catalyst, then the catalyst will come. You now exist within your time period where many catalysts are shown to you, and where you yourself are the catalyst for others. However you perceive the current time period, indeed there will be uprising or revolution presented within your third dimensional reality. It is indeed the case that you are in this time period now. The tools to ride these waves of change are to surf with the multidimensional surfboard, if you will. Embrace both third and higher dimensional states simultaneously. When you can do this, and when you can process the multi-perspectives and multi-dimensions, even those that appear contradictory and opposing, simultaneously, and as one, you will have all the tools you need to ride these waves of change. We would say to you to keep in your hearts, in your mind's eye, the outcome you wish to experience and the reality you wish to live in. And whilst you ride the waves of change, you simultaneously live in the reality you wish to create, allowing your emotions to be in response to not what is, but what you wish to create. When what you wish to create becomes what is, then manifestation of that occurs within the physical reality. If each starseed holds this vision in their minds and holds the emotional response in their hearts, the power created between you, as you act as a group, as a collective, is enough to change worlds. And that is exactly what you are doing. We are the white-winged collective consciousness of 9. What is the Matrix? Who are the Masters? I, Magenta Pixie, am so very pleased to present my first book, channeled from my guidance system that I refer to as the white-winged collective consciousness of 9. Discover the true story of our origins as an energy system, how we lost the original template for our destiny, and how we are now in the process of remembering those lost codes. Learn how humanity may reclaim the sovereignty which is rightfully ours, bringing us back into wholeness, integration, and full understanding of who we are, what we are, why we are here, and what we are here to do. Spirituality, metaphysics, and science merge as the sacred geometry, known as the language of light, is downloaded and decoded. The realization and activation of these ancient codes for a new dawn of man is an alchemical process available to us all. Now is the time that collectively we move forward into a fully conscious ascension and embrace the new archetype of Master of the Matrix.